Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we work on this hour. Well, here's a fire blanket in case there's a fire you want to put it out. They ended up not needing the fire blanket at police headquarters on Union Avenue. A disturbed 44-year-old man wanted to burn down the joint this week. He had lighter fluid and he was tried to, but he didn't get very far and he got arrested. Turns out because the fire department's made of brick. Well, in these dystopian times, a lot of us have turned to apocalyptic fiction. I like The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood and her follow-up to The Handmaid's Tale, The Testaments. In New Haven this week started The Big Read, where everyone reads a book and talks about it. And we chose Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury's novel about where they burn books in the future. What struck me when I reread Fahrenheit 451 is that even though the government was burning the books, the people were asking them to do it. In a way, the American public did ask Donald Trump to come in and do the horrors he's now visiting on immigrants and universities and people in need and people all over the world who are suffering from disease. So as we're trying to tackle these times, we want to stop our society from burning. We got to remember it starts with us at the grassroots and what we demand from our government. Well, I'll tell you what's not burning, but it's staying hot. The soup at the soup kitchen. You know, the community soup kitchen has been around downtown for a long time on Broadway. Well, they're now expanding. And this week they kept the soup coming and the food on Hamilton Street. Let me backtrack a minute to explain it. IRIS is our great immigrant refugee group. They've been devastated by federal anti-immigrant cutbacks. They were gonna have to close a food pantry they had on Hamilton Street, serving hundreds of families a week, not just refugees. Community Soup Kitchen stepped in part and they said, we're keeping the pantry open and we're gonna make it a soup kitchen too for the neighborhood. In fact, they're going to 11 neighborhoods in town and expanding where there's a lot of people going hungry and starting soup kitchens like on Lamberton Street in the Hill. I asked Wilson Sutherland, how are you able to do this? These are hard times for nonprofits. He said, we're lucky. We don't get federal money. Our $600,000 budget has no federal funds. These are the new times we're living in. The agencies that are now the strongest to help us in this time of need are the ones who don't rely on the federal government, which should be the first place that we as a communal society deal with our biggest challenges. Also, they have tons of volunteers, and volunteer work is going to make it. I'll give you an example with IRIS. Alder Carolyn Tamby Smith noticed that in East Rock, a lot of people want to help out with all that's going on instead of just doom scrolling. So she gave them a challenge. She said, in 3 days, let's get 30 people to sign up to be long-term IRIS volunteers to do some of the work they've had to stop to help refugees settle the immigrants and go through training. Do you know that 3 days, 30 volunteers? In 2 days, she got over 200. We are burning with energy because we're not going to let our city burn. Well, this happy hippie microtransit van is not burning energy. It's probably, given the rainbow, fueled by solar power, who knows, electric. And in fact, in New Haven, we have a new hybrid and electric vehicle microtransit service to help people get around town. It's called VIA. It was publicly unveiled this week. It's going to be ride sharing. You go in different spots in neighborhoods around town, and people go on an app, and it'll pick you up along with other people and take you to those kind of last mile places like shopping or the train station or the airport. And it only costs as much as the bus, $1.75, or like me, almost if you're 65, only 85 cents. What's also good is, unlike Uber, the program hires drivers at a good hourly wage with set hours, and they're not independent contractors. I'm not sure if the business model is going to work. It has a 2-year grant. But let's hope it does, and it's worth trying, and we try all these options to make us a better city. Burning with energy, burning with passions, not burning books. Until next time, this is the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. Remember, always pick up and recycle, don't burn your trash while we still can.